Today's story begins with Cale, who is driving his car while talking to his mom on the phone. Suddenly, a blue Ford-like car comes speeding from behind and overtakes him. Cale's father is sitting beside him. He immediately says, "Hang up the phone, son. Focus on the road." But Cale is half focused on the conversation and half on driving. The very next moment, there's a loud crash and their car flips over. Thankfully, both survive, but before they can recover, a pickup truck slams directly into their vehicle. Cale somehow manages to crawl out of the car, but his father dies on the spot. The scene cuts. 1 year later, the accident has completely changed Cale's life. He used to be a calm and quiet kid, but now he's filled with anger. At school, when the teacher mentions his father and says, "Your dad must be watching over you from heaven, you should stay strong," Cale gets furious and slaps him. The matter reaches court. Because he's a minor and has lost his father, the judge doesn't send him to jail. Instead, he places Cale under house arrest for 3 months and puts a location tracker on his ankle so he cannot go more than 100 feet outside. Locked inside the house, Cale starts getting bored, so he spends time looking through a pair of binoculars at the nearby houses. He becomes very fond of the blonde girl across the street, Ashley, who comes to swim in her pool every day. Slowly, the two become friends, and Cale begins telling her about his life. One day, Cale is watching the news. They report that several women in the city have been mysteriously murdered. Eyewitnesses say that a blue car has been seen near every crime scene, with a deep dent on its left side. Cale is shocked because his neighbor Robert's car looks exactly the same color, same dent. He starts feeling that this is no coincidence. He calls his friend Ronnie, and the two start searching the internet for old cases. They discover that 3 years ago, similar murders had happened, and the killer was never caught. Just then, Ashley comes to the pool again and catches Cale spying with his binoculars. Angry, she storms over to his house. Cale was in bad shape. Just then, Ronnie quickly blurted out, "We weren't spying. We just suspect that the uncle next door might be the killer." At first, Ashley doesn't believe it, but then she joins their little surveillance mission too. Through the binoculars, she sees Robert pulling his blue car out of the garage. But surprisingly, there wasn't a single dent on it anymore. That meant he'd already gotten it fixed. Now things looked even more suspicious. That night, all three of them set up a camera near the window to record whatever Robert does at night. It was dead silent outside. A little later, Robert returns home with his car, and with him is a red-haired girl. They looked pretty close, like they were on a romantic date. But the very next moment, Robert pulls a knife from his pocket and slowly starts walking toward the girl. Cale, who's watching all this through his binoculars from his room, feels his heartbeat racing. But after a few moments, they realize Robert was only cutting the tag off her dress. Cale and Ronnie breathe a sigh of relief and head back. But suddenly, a little while later, Cale hears the scream of that same red-haired girl. He quickly grabs the camera to record everything, but by mistake, the flash turns on. Terrified, he ducks down immediately. After a moment, when he gathers enough courage to look again through the binoculars, he sees Robert staring directly in his direction. Cale immediately calls Ashley and tells her everything. A few minutes later, the girl walks out of Robert's house completely fine and drives off. Cale starts thinking maybe he overreacted. The next night, when Cale and Ashley are sitting together, they hear something dragging outside. They peek out and see Robert pulling a heavy bag into his garage, and blood is dripping from it. Now the situation was clear. Something was definitely wrong. The next day, Cale, Ronnie, and Ashley decide they have to uncover the truth. Ashley's job is to follow Robert, while Ronnie tries to steal the garage remote and password from his other car. Ashley tails Robert and sees him buying a shovel at a supermarket. Meanwhile, Ronnie tries to break into the car and somehow manages to note down the code from the remote. Just then, Ashley's phone falls, and when she picks it up, Robert has disappeared. The very next moment, he's standing right in front of her and says in an icy tone, "I like my privacy. I don't want anyone watching me." He speaks calmly, but the danger in his eyes is obvious. Scared, Ashley backs away and tells Cale that she's had enough and they need to stop this game. But Cale and Ronnie weren't the type to give up. That same night, Ronnie sneaks into Robert's garage with a camera. While Cale watches everything live from his computer, Ronnie finds that same bloody bag in the corner, the one that smelled rotten. Just as he's about to open it, the garage door suddenly shuts on its own. And then comes Ronnie's scream. The camera cuts out instantly. Cale panics and runs straight toward Robert's house, ignoring the alarm on his ankle monitor. He arrives with a baseball bat, but before he can do anything, the police show up and arrest him, thinking he's the criminal. Cale shouts, "That man is a killer. He murdered my friend. There's a body in a bag in his garage." The police go inside, open the bag, and find just a dead deer. Robert says, "I hit it on the road. It was an accident." Cale's face falls. No one believes him, and now the whole situation backfires on him. Later, Cale's mom goes to Robert's house to apologize so the case doesn't escalate. But then Cale receives a video message from Ronnie on his phone, and Ronnie looks badly injured in it. As soon as Cale enters the house, he hears a strange noise coming from the closet. Nervously, he opens the closet door, and there stands his friend Ronnie. Yes, the same Ronnie he thought was dead. Turns out, it was all a prank by Ronnie. He staged the whole scary scene to avoid getting caught by the police. Cale explodes in anger. "You made a joke out of death." But the real danger was just beginning, because Cale's mom was now in real trouble. He starts rewatching the old videos from earlier, and he notices something that sends chills down his spine. The same red-haired girl he once believed was safe. It was now clear that she wasn't alive. At that moment, Robert sneaks into his mom's house and attacks. After that, he heads to Cale's house, where he injures Ronnie as well, and then moves upstairs to kill Cale. But Cale somehow manages to escape. He remembers that if he steps more than 100 feet outside his house, the ankle tracker alarm will go off and the police will show up immediately. He runs as fast as he can, but Robert catches him, knocks him out, and ties him up. His plan was clear: to frame Cale for the murders of his mom, and Ronnie Robert forces Cale to write a fake confession letter. Just then, Ashley arrives and distracts him. Seizing the moment, Cale attacks him, and together they push Robert downstairs. But the story doesn't end there. That devil comes back upstairs again. Now both of them have no choice but to run. They jump out the window and fall into the swimming pool, which breaks Cale's tracker. Ashley runs to call the police, and Cale heads out alone to save his mom. He sneaks into Robert's house and accidentally enters a room where he finds a red wig on the table and the ID card of the murdered girl. And then everything becomes clear. That night, Robert had put on a wig and disguised himself as the red-haired girl to fool everyone. Meanwhile, the police finally arrive, but what a joke. To catch such a dangerous killer, they've sent only one officer, and as expected, Robert kills him too. Cal makes his way into a hidden basement, where he's met with a horrifying sight. Dozens of torture tools are laid out, and his mother is hanging upside down from the ceiling. Cal is just about to rescue her when Robert shows up again, and the two get into a brutal fight. Robert overpowers him, but Cal's mother suddenly attacks Robert from behind with a sharp tool. Seeing an opening, Cal grabs a large pair of scissors and stabs Robert in the chest. The monster finally falls into the filthy sewer below, where he had been hiding the bodies of his victims. And just like that, the mother-son duo wins their fight for survival against the deadly serial killer. Ashley and Ronnie witness their victory. In the end, Cal is forgiven for his mistakes, and his house arrest is lifted. The film closes with Cal and Ashley hugging each other with a smile as the camera slowly pulls back, as if saying, sometimes true freedom lies just beyond fear. With this, the story ends here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Also, subscribe to this channel for more stories like this.